Jr., but my dad would call him RH3. Or your Willow. Since you were a little boy, that's somewhat changed as you've gotten older, but he would call you Willow Boy. and many times now it's Berto!
Yeah.
Short for Roberto. Berto! You're the firstborn and a gift from God to me and your mom. I remember the day that you were born. So many of my friends and family members, some who are here today, flooded that hospital room. Uncle Mike.
Yeah.
Flooded that hospital room October 29, 2002 to see you. Many people came that day. It appears that from the day you took your first breath here, that you could always draw a crowd around you. I remember you walking around at like 8 months old. He was walking around like 8 months old, and he looked like a little cowboy because his body couldn't even hold up the weight, and he had a big old bobblehead. And he would walk like this, like a cowboy. I would call you a little cowboy many times. There were times where me and your mother would be amazed how you used to keep, and you would hide, and we always used to call his pacifiers his bobos. So Robbie, when he was younger, walking around in his diaper, he would always have his bobos, his pacifiers, and he miraculously would know that we were trying to wean him off of these bobos, these pacifiers, and we thought we had them all thrown away, and we would try to teach him, okay, you're a big boy now, throw your bobos in the garbage can, and we would walk away, and then a few moments later, he would pull one out of his diaper. Many times, if our keys were missing, we knew he had them in his diaper. Listen, if you were ever spare change for a big gulp, it never fails. He would have money in the diaper. It was like he knew that was like mom's purse almost. I remember, and for anybody here who doesn't know, Mike and Lisette, they are our best childhood friends. We have been together for so long. And when Jasenia, who's working right now, she's a little bit older than Robbie. When Jasenia was 1 year old, I was hoping she would be here today. We can tell her that I gave her a shout out, right? But when Jasenia was 1 year old, I remember Jasenia coming out of the room, and me and Uncle Mike were over there, and Jasenia in her diaper, no shirt on, just a diaper, Jasenia comes out of the room, and her hands are covered in Vaseline. And I begin to start laughing hysterically, and I'm looking at Uncle Mike, and I said, I'm just dying laughing, and Mike is stunned. He's stunned. And then the next thing you know, here you are, come crawling out of the room, and you are covered in the Vaseline that was on Jasenia's hand. So it went from me dying and laughing to Uncle Mike dying and laughing, and now we're laughing at each other. So it appears that Robbie might have been Jasenia's first art project. I taught you how to throw a baseball, how to fish. You remember your first pocket rocket? And you used to ride that up and down the road. So young. And then a dirt bike. What was I thinking? Right there. Speaking of fishing, I remember when you caught your first bass. You caught your first bass. And you said yes, and you were telling everybody, I caught a big bastard. You caught a big bastard. I said, son, it's a bass. It's a bass.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
You have always liked cars. You have always liked cars. Even from a very young age.
Tell us about it.
I remember how funny it was that when you were younger, we would be in the car, and when he was younger, he would say, and he would look at a Camaro, and he would say, look, Dad, it's a Lamborghini. But now, he knows car types better than me.
Yeah.
Yes. He loves driving his grandfather's Corvette. He loves cars and he has a passion for cars. He always has. We always knew that you would follow in the footsteps as a businessman. It's just in you. When you were in elementary school, you were proposing for me and Mom. Elementary school.
Yeah.
He was already proposing to me and his mother to buy him a limousine. And that he was going to rent it out. And that he was going to rent, he didn't want it for himself. He says, I have an idea, Mom, Dad. You guys buy a limousine, I'll rent it out, I'll pay you guys back, we'll make profits and money on it. In elementary school. Many of us can remember the days when he did it just the same. He would make bracelets and friendship bracelets, and he would go to school and sell them. He would make them for less than $1 and sell them for $3 or $5, and he would come home from school with just wads of money. I'm like, dude! You've always just had that drive and ambition in you for success. You never stopped amazing me, son. You were an all-star baseball player. An all-star football player. God used you to invite your mother to church in one of the worst times of our lives. And you witnessed firsthand the Lord's ability to reach down into the hardened and broken heart of a lost man and a lost woman. Yes. For the purpose that God would show you and all of us that no matter how much hurt we have, no matter how much damage is done, no matter how distant that we feel from God, you witness God can heal. He can make somebody new again, and God can restore. Don't ever forget that, son. Don't ever forget that you invited your mother to the house of the Lord in the beginning of our journey. And God used you for that. You have traveled the globe. You have prayed for world leaders. Remember Pastor? Brother Hadablaw. He sent you a picture of Robbie praying for a vice president of a country. You've seen parts of God's creation and cultures that me and your mother may never get a chance to see. And that's fine with us. Because as your parents, we only want the best for you. We only want success for you. We want greater for you than we have. We love you. I'm just amazed that you grinded out your junior and senior year together. When you put your mind to something, you can accomplish anything. I am amazed that you did that. You said, in the midst of so much going on in life, you determined and said, I'm going to finish my junior and senior year and still work, and you did it. So proud of you. You have bought and sold 3 different vehicles and now own a 19-foot center console fishing boat, all before the age of 18 years old. I'm your dad, I'm your boss, and I've had the privilege to be your youth pastor. I can't imagine that's easy for you and that's been easy for you. And I'm sorry if I ever let you down in any of those areas. I've tried my best. And I can imagine that that's a lot of weight for you. To have dad, boss, and a youth leader in your life, all in one person. And I love you. Please forgive me if I've ever failed you in any of those areas. I do hope that there will be a few things in your life where down the road you'll occasionally hear the nagging voice of dad leading and guiding you along the course of your life. I hope there will be a few things. Robbie, my son, please never forget these scriptures, as life has a way of really being a roller coaster ride, full of highs and lows. Your life will be full of trials and triumphs, no doubt. The prophet Jeremiah writes, "For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." Never forget that. In Philippians 4:13, that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And if you will put Christ in your life first forever, son, there is nothing that you cannot do nor accomplish. Never lose faith, never give up. I want you to know that I love you and that I'm so proud of you, son. May the Lord Jesus bless you in the next chapter of your life.